Yes, we are.
Okay, welcome to the Peters Podcast. Today, I am joined by my good friend and my old manager of Supplement King, Caleb.
Heyo.
Introduce yourself.
I am Caleb.
Stop making me do all the work.
Hey, it's your show. So, yeah, Caleb. I've worked in fitness industry for 5 years. I would say 4 years working with Darren Maywood at the gym, and actually 2 years as well working in the supplement industry, running a store, and yeah, it was pretty good. That's my credentials.
Well, you're still making me do all the work, so gotta put those fucking slaves to work.
Delegating has always been my opportune power. You do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, today we came up with some fun little topics, and we're gonna see how this goes. I'm hoping that it continues because this has been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, we had about an hour of fixing every problem under the sun, mostly with my setup, and then we just got to chatting. I was like, man, we gotta save this shit because we're going too hard already.
My setup was just like fucking.
It was rough.
Dude, this is weird even for like, because usually my setup's just like my phone and like a fucking headphone,
Mm-hmm.
just a microphone, and so this is a bit more fancy. So I like how we're treating each other to a nice little dinner date.
Basically, yeah. Hey, we got drinks. We got Powerade. We got Sprite.
I got water.
Yep. That's how we do it.
Clinkies.
Soon it will be beer.
I'd go for mead.
Mead?
I love me and mead. Yeah.
I kind of like
honey wine.
I've never had mead. Like, is it
really?
like? Well, I've had every beer under the sun except for mead. Maybe I've had it and just haven't known. Like, I don't know.
Mead is like a nice honey wine that it goes down so smooth. It's sweet, but it just goes down just. You have one glass, and the next thing you know, you're down 2 bottles, and you don't know where you are.
Sounds like you're talking from experience. Hey. I mean,
I've been around the block.
It's only been like one time not two times in my entire life where I've ever drank where I'm face down in the dirt. Like, it just doesn't. I don't know. I never get to that point really. I've always tried. Trust me.
It's not as fun as you think, but at the same time, like when you're like laying in a pile of shoes, New Year's Day, and you got puke all over you, and you're just covered in dirt and puke, and you're just like, oh, well, that was a fun night. Where do I go from here?
Right.
And then you realize that you have to work in like an hour.
That literally happened.
Yeah.
So, to preface this, Josh and I worked together at Supplement King, right? That was one of the businesses. And I'll let you, I don't know if I probably have told you this before, but it was our grand opening. And we had all of the builders from who built the Supplement King. You got to put like shelves, all that shit. Put the tile in. So me and my dad, we love these guys. They're great guys. So we had them over the day before grand opening. And my dad was like, I'm going to get these guys so drunk that they're not going to be able to make our grand opening. And I was like, okay. But in turn, that meant that everyone had to get super wasted. Everyone had to get super drunk because it couldn't just have been them, right? So we were
Yeah.
sitting outside on the balcony, like doing, shots, 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 right? It was literally constant. Every drink was, I swear to God, poured with a drop of Coke for color. Like that was, and my manager at the time, he did not have a good night. He was, curling around the toilet, and I was just like, oh, like I was gone. I was gone. So, and the day of the grand opening, I had to sleep on the couch because we had all the owners over and they had the beds. So I was sleeping on the couch, and then that morning, I was laying. I woke up and it hurt so bad in my head, but I was so stiff, because I was sleeping on the couch, right? So I went to go stretch my legs, and I fucking pulled both my calves. I pulled both of my calf muscles at once.
No.
It happened.
No.
It happened.
That fucking hurts.
I remember I was laying on the couch. I was like, oh, like, and I rolled right off. I fell on the floor. And have you ever been like super hungover and then all of a sudden you just get like mad sober? Like it just, reality just hits you. And my dad was like, we got to get to fucking work. And I was just like, I literally, I can't walk right now. It's like, so I took a shower and I was just like, I looked like fucking, who's that guy on like the crutches? Like, I don't know. And it's just like, I don't know. I was like a gimp. I was seriously a gimp for a day.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, I was Forrest Gump. I was literally Forrest Gump before he was able to run. And
why couldn't I think of that? Just the kid, just fucking.
That was me.
I do remember. Before we get into more topics, I do have one more story.
Yeah.
For our Supplement King days. That was our EPE day.
Oh,
the night.
Oh, that night.
That night. The night that we all went to Wings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck! I remember it as trauma. So to summarize, we all had EPE night, and we did such a good job that our regional manager, is that his position?
Area manager.
Oh, area manager. Well, same thing. So the area manager decided to take us all out for wings, and I'm doing strongman, so I'm thinking like, oh, I should order like something like hefty and good, and then all of a sudden I saw the Bobby. I saw that Bobby wing challenge, and I can't pass down a challenge, and we all as a collective decided to convince me. I convinced myself to do the Bobby Wing challenge. One guy to my left was like chugging down beer, and then I had I'm only gonna say his first name, Adam. Yeah. Wasn't he the one who was like, "You okay, man? You okay? You okay?"
Well, Adam,
every 5 fucking minutes.
Adam was genuinely concerned for your health. I don't think that's something to bash him for. I mean,
no. It's just like every 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, dude, fuck, I'm fine. It's just like I dropped. My face dropped, just like because I tried to power down the 5, and then I got to the like 6th, 7th, like a 6th to 10th, and I'm just like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? And I felt like fucked up.
I think you're remembering this wrong, because we tried. I think we tried to convince you out of it. We were like, you have a free meal here. You can buy whatever you want. Don't buy wings. Like I remember my boss telling you shouldn't do it unless he instigated you.
I'm pretty sure that the conversation went something similar to that, and then I'm like, yeah, but it's a challenge. And then you guys are like, well, then maybe you should. And as soon as I hear that, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna fucking do it. I still don't think the reward was worth the end result. Just a porn star shot was not worth it. I wanted to put money, like $20 from each of you, at least.
I mean, you really should have. I mean, it would have been.
I know one guy wouldn't be able to fucking pay me worth a shit, but still. And we both know who that is.
We both know who that individual is. But I mean, he. I don't want to use his name, but you know,
he doesn't watch this podcast.
That night was interesting.
Sorry,
because I'm not gonna say it, but let's just say some things were said that were very incriminating, and that were said, yes, and and being like representing a business and representing ownership to a degree, it made it very tough, and it's partially the reason it may put me in a very uncomfortable position moving forward. And I'll DM you what it was, but it move on. Like it's I can't say it.
I think I will move on, but I will say that I think what he did in front of our boss.
Yep.
Outside in the parking lot.
Yep.
Because I was still working in the barber shop, and I was talking about this with the barbershop boss.
Yes.
And he's like, he could have at least just waited until to see read the room. If other people are doing it, then do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was just like, I think the boss, like the big boss, was so just baffled. Like he was just like so taken by it that he just didn't. I didn't hear anything about that after, and that's a bad thing.
You were right there though.
But I didn't hear anything about it after. Like there was no private conversation, there was no private text, there was no nothing. It was just sort of left into the air. So I don't even know. Like the boss, we're all blown away, but I don't know if he's even the boss has even seen something like that. Like
just even clued in.
I don't think he even clued into it. Like if he did, then wow. I guess he just has I guess he just has this intrinsic belief of, what? Fucking shit happens at a party, stays in the party. Who knows? Maybe he thinks that way.
After 5 years of after the 5th year of EPE, all of a sudden he wakes up in a cold sweat.
He's just like,
oh, okay, I gotta text someone.
I gotta fucking. He's just like, I don't want to get Caleb in trouble. Leaves.
Dude,
Anyway.
That
wasn't even the bad part. That's the fucked up thing. That wasn't even the bad part. Like you're saying this like it was condemning. I mean, I still worked the next day and nothing else happened. Like,
no. The point I was gonna make, and then we got into that, is that actually after that, I've been hungover. I've been so screwed up in my mind that I went to work the next day, still high, drunk, whatever, and I still did my work. But that EPE weekend, I didn't drink much. I had 3 beer.
So wait, just for the context, what is an EPE weekend?
Employee pricing event. So Supplement King has every once a year they have an employee pricing event where you can get supplements for we would have paid for when we worked there.
Yeah.
Essentially, like they say that it's for 2 days, and then they like, oh, we're gonna extend it
Yeah, I mean,
every fucking time.
it's the biggest cringe thing they do. It's the biggest
Mhm.
cringe.
It's like, oh, we're tricky. No, you're not.
No, really.
Stop it.
Everyone knows.
Stop it. Stop it. It's a mess.
Everyone knows.
But during that weekend, that I think we did that on the first day or the second day, and
Ah.
then we came back for the third day, which is the last day. The last day of that event was the worst day for me because I think I was working alone because Buddy didn't show up,
Mm.
and I wasn't hugging the toilet. I was straddling it, trying to be like, oh yes, customers, hello. I wiped as fast as I could.
Yeah, right.
Like the okay, so the challenge was to eat wings that are like 1 million Scoville level,
I think it's like 1.5, almost 2.
500,000. Yeah, around there. And it was so hot that I'm supposed to eat 10 wings that are 1 million Scoville, and those things just burn all the way down, all the way out.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucked. And I had the burning ring of fire for like 3 days.
Yeah, it
It's
was.
terrible.
I have my own bodybuilding story, but that one's more rich. I mean, that one's, spicy. So, like,
No, that was a personal
oh.
thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very together. So we worked together for a while. We always had good chats, and as soon as I watched some of your podcasts, I was like, I gotta fucking get on that shit. I'm just joking.
Yeah,
I really wanted to. I really wanted to, but yeah, it's fun.
It was either you or a liberal, and I have better conversation with you.
Bad choice.
So
bad choice picking me.
Oh.
Bad choice picking.
Oh.
Bad choice.
Damn it. Well, we were talking about how I want to suck off Trudeau. So. Him and his 4 inches.
We all know you're the biggest Trudeau lover in here. Don't even get me started.
Oh,
okay,
dude.
Okay, bye.
Him and his daddy Fidel. Him and his dad Fidel. I just want to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
just gag, swirl, swallow, a whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm gonna Danny Storm.
Cause you love Trudeau so much, I'm just gonna follow into it. How are you loving your Liberal government right now, or should I say NDP Liberal coalition? How are you loving that?
I can't afford milk.
I can't afford paint.
Thinking about doing OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Show my asshole.
Wasn't there some girl that, like, what was her name? It was like Karina Koff or something. Didn't she make like an OnlyFans and then like one day she made $1 million? Was that her, or was that someone else? No, I'm sure of it. Like one of these girls made like an OnlyFans and just fucking like belting money.
I'm looking this up. Are you gonna look it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Karina Koff. All right. So
finally, I don't have to work.
So
that's gonna be the running joke.
So, despite refraining from mentioning exactly how much she earned across all platforms, she showed off her new $400,000 Ferrari on Dobrik's channel. And okay, so
and she's on
OnlyFans
a
launched.
fucking shitty.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty hot, but I mean, 2 million, 2 million, actually, and that's kind of fucked. So OnlyFans launched, 21 net revenue grew by
On her
106%.
first day?
I think it was a month. I think it was her first month actually, but still. Oh,
I'm still
sorry.
on my feet.
If you add up the figures, that means she's made over $20 million within the first 9 months of being on OnlyFans. So what is that? Let's pull out our handy dandy calculator here, right? So that's, that's pretty casual. That's pretty casual. 2.222 million a month. So, that's
I'm in the wrong industry.
you're the wrong gender, my friend.
Not too.
I will say,
and women say there's a fucking pay gap.
wow. I mean, isn't it fucking weird how all of a sudden this whole pay gap thing is so silent? Right? No one's talking about this pay gap right now, right?
No,
because
women are making more off of OnlyFans.
Well, no one's making shit right now. It's making, like, it's true, right? I mean, well, if you look at it from a genetic perspective, okay, women just have the option. They just inherently, and you can argue with me all you like, but it's true. Genetically, women have the option just to have their bodies, and that is fucking all you need, right?
Yeah.
The male will compete for the female, so the female doesn't have to do much. I mean, you can look at it. So,
we have to be charming and rich and to do this and that, and the next thing we have to be good looking. Women just have to go outside and spread their legs.
Well, there's that, right? I wouldn't put it as simply as just having to spread your legs, right? You don't even have to do that. You can just be. No. You can just be a woman. Like the girl I was talking to, right? She didn't have to add anything to the conversation, to make any of the plans, didn't have to. If she asked me to pay for dinner, I probably would have. There's a lot of intrinsic qualities about being a girl, right? That some get and some don't, right? But I mean, even the ones that don't get that, still at the end of the day could make a Tinder, right? Say, I'm just looking for, some shafty business, and get it, right? And eventually we'll hook a guy who's, a 9-to-5 worker, works and will pay all the bills, and just set, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But then to argue that the pay gap, right, and that men get paid more and they should be pestered for it or halted for it, I think is wrong, right? Because of the competition. Men will compete more with other men. Day in, day in, day in, day in, right? And I'm not saying they won't compete against women. It's just like men always want to be better than the other guy, right? It's just the way it is.
It's the alpha system. We've had a conversation about this.
We have, and
the alpha system.
I've learned a little bit more about it since then. I read this book called Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, and in and in the first chapter, it really talks about lobsters and how lobster hierarchies work in. So let's say you're a lobster, right? And you are in your cave, right? Little seabed. You're in a good spot. All right. Another lobster will come at you and try and take this from you. Now, a lot of the fighting ends naturally just by size, by tail wagging, posturing, and they go away. But if that doesn't happen, then there's even more posturing. It's almost like a dance. And if that doesn't even work, then we fight, right? We fight for the position. And let's say, the lobster who had the cave loses, and the other lobster takes his position. Well, then the lobster that took his position is going to have more success than the lobster that lost. The lobster that lost isn't even going to fight for a new home. He's actually going to go into a state of depression.
Yep.
He'll lower his serotonin levels. So, and lobsters have been around millions and millions and millions of years. So, to say that if you are winning in life, and I really just want to bring up this point because I love this part of the book, it hooked me right away, right? That if you're winning and you're going through and you're dominating, then you are going to dominate more from a neurochemical stance, right? Whereas if you're losing, you're actually going to be on the downturn. Your neurochemicals will actually force you to lose more often, right? That's what serotonin is, right? So, what do I mean when I say this? So, like, sorry?
I have an example.
Yeah.
I have an example. Okay, so I remember bringing this up, this exact thing, because I was watching Jordan Peterson. I watched some of his stuff. I don't read. I don't tend to read a lot, but like he did a talk about the 12 rules for life, and I've watched it, and I sat. I just came to work, and for some reason we got into the conversation about it. And I said, "Watch, next pretty girl who walks into the store, we're gonna talk about, like, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about." And sure shit, both of us postured up, chest out, but because I was uninterested, I deflated and walked away. You continued the conversation, so it's not necessarily the biggest person, but it does have to do with all men get this way. And usually the ones who lose will deflate quicker, and or it can be a voluntary thing, like I did, because I'm fully aware of posturing up with your chest out and all that fun stuff. And usually when we're seeking mates, that's what we do, because we are still biologically animals.
Yep. At the end of the day.
So I put that point across, and at first you didn't see it. And then eventually, I think it was like, what was it, like a day later? You're just like, dude, I just realized what you did. And I'm like,
yeah, it was interesting, right? Because, I mean, you kind of opened my eyes to this thing. And later I read about it in the Jordan Peterson book, and it makes sense, right? But I don't know. I mean, it's funny because down to like the deepest level of human psyche, right? You can say all these things about how, I want a quiet guy and I don't want a buff guy and I don't want this guy. But at the end of the day, your eyes will be drawn to that, right? Because it's just selection.
Because that's a fucking lie.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like climate change.
It's a lie. Like at first, you come across as like very passive and very almost uninterested, and then when you show your true colors of like, yeah, sometimes I can be rambunctious, sometimes I can be a little bit over dominating. They tend to fall further, and if you're just showing the exact same thing over and over and over and over again, they're going to get bored. And I think that's kind of why, like, say if we're uninterested in them, we kind of flick on that switch of like, I'm just going to be fucking dull to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's hard to notice in the moment when you're being dull and you're not interested, right? Because you really want to be interested, right? And you want to be involved in these things and be engaged, but it's just so hard because it's something deeper than, I think, even consciousness.
And of course, I'm using layman's terms, not getting into the exact, because I'm not a doctor whatsoever. I just know what I've heard from seeing people like Jordan Peterson and the likes of him and like Matt Walsh and all them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not by any means saying that I'm an expert in this field. I'm just saying of what I've observed and what I've learned from them and what connects. So that, and if I try to sound smart, sometimes I just end up sounding fucking retarded.
No points are bad.
Which is why most of my episodes, like I've caught myself doing the Trudeau thing, which I love him so much.
Of course.
So saying because like I'm trying to make sure that my point gets across without making my words unintelligible, but at the same time not too intellectual that it won't get across to a general audience. I want people to like I want everybody to understand, and I want everybody to be offended. So I have to go with layman's terms.
No, that's
Because
fair.
we both know I don't always talk like a Neanderthal. Sometimes I'm actually quite smart.
Yeah. No, I would consider you a smart person. I wouldn't consider you dumb.
Thank you.
Thank you. No problem.
Yes. Rub my ego. So are you. You're pretty.
Thanks.
Fuck it, we're both pretty. We're both pretty.
That tongue action was pretty hot there.
Oh, thank you.
Don't think we didn't notice.
Wait until you see me. Just wait until Friday night. It is Friday night.
It is Friday night. It is true. This is what we're doing.
Think about that.
This is what we're doing on Friday night.
Oh, dude. Okay, so I went to work at like 6 a.m. because we had to do inventory. The mall was closed, and I had to like get in there, do the inventory, and then open up shop. And I was just like, oh my god. And then we had a power out.
No way.
And I'm like, so I ended up to come here early as fuck. I was talking to a girl online too, wee hours in the morning.
Yeah.
Get my groove on because I'm single,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got nothing better to do with my life.
Plug it.
But yeah, so that is why I'm so fucking tired. So let's get into it, and let's unless you have other points that you want to make about the being of masculinity, because we're essentially right now we're touching on most of my points that I've made throughout the whole extension of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This is like 20 episodes in like one episode with again.
Yeah, in one quick in one quick burst, we got.
I hope. Yeah, I hope that you end up being a co-host and not just a guest, because this is fucking a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I love this.
I love this too. This is fun.
Okay, so I'm gonna say the title of this without looking at it because I saw it and I think I memorized it. I think what you wrote down was, "Where is conservatism going?"
Mm-hmm.
Is that what the title of it is?
Yeah, it was modern.
Here, let me.
Yeah, I mean, I have it all right here, but basically, it was.
Yeah,
I just want to touch on. So we have this, and I think modern conservatism right now in Canada, right? That's mostly what we're going to be talking about is Canadian politics, right? I'll definitely touch on some American stuff. I know some American Republican and Democrat issues going on right now, but this main focus is going to be on Canada because I think Canada's in a really unique spot as opposed to the rest of the world. So we really can't talk about modern conservatism in modern Canada in this moment without talking about the Freedom Convoy. And the Freedom Convoy, what it did is, like it or not, think about this, okay? We were going down a path before with conservatism, with Aaron O'Toole and the cabinet, right? And no one said a word. They were going to stay in power all's well in the world. But then something happened.
Mm-hmm.
A movement happened that exploded the Conservative Party, right? They disbanded, basically, because they couldn't agree on anything. Right? They couldn't agree on how to oppose this issue, right? So they got rid of the head, Aaron O'Toole. But that changed history. You can't argue that it didn't, right?
Who was O'Toole?
Aaron O'Toole.
Oh no, it did.
Oh yeah, he was. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of him.
He was a complete fucking tool.
I wasn't a huge fan of him, but
he sounded like a complete idiot.
I think your leader represents your caucus, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in all levels of government, everywhere. I mean, look at the United States. I mean, the Democrats, Biden is his office. He hires all the people in his office, right? So he's only going to hire the people that, share his ideals. Naturally.
I'm still waiting for the day that someone just addresses Biden died of natural causes because he's older than fucking my grandma.
Didn't Biden literally just fucking miss a handshake? Like he shook some guy's hand, and then as the guy was walking away, he was like, "Oh, where'd that guy? That guy didn't shake my hand, even though he just did 2 seconds ago." Like
he does that like all the time when nobody's there.
I mean,
so like, what's the difference? He just like puts his hand out and just like to the air. Fucked up. It's weird.
I know, like
it's early sign.
It's
such early signs of dementia.
Is this it?
Do you have a clip of it?
I do.
Play. Oh.
1 second.
Credit to yeah. Credit to whoever. We can't afford premium anymore because we're broke because of inflation. Thanks, Trudeau.
Basically.
And I licked your hairy balls. I actually know someone who had him as a drama teacher.
So, okay. Here it is.
Apparently he wasn't very good.
So, he just shook all these guys' hands. And, like, as he goes through the line, goes back, finds like, where the hell is my handshake? Like, the man.
Are you screen sharing?
No, I just threw it over. No, so.
Oh, okay.
Only the stream got to see. I'm sorry, I should have screen shared, but don't worry, you'll see it in post. You'll see. I'll figure. We're still ironing out the kinks, okay? Still ironing out the kinks.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. We'll become super famous and super awesome from doing this eventually. Which is, what's actually funny? We're in this. We're still in the same province, or I guess in American state.
Yep.
We're just in different towns. What are you, like 5 hours away? 6 hours away?
Yeah, 5 hours. Question.
Yeah.
Question. Do you have a problem with provinces being called states? Hello?
Because can you hear me?
Sorry, yeah, no, you're good now.
Okay. So I grew up as a with European family and specifically English. So in England they call like their districts like North Yorkshire and Manchester and places like that. They call them provinces as well, or territories. So essentially, us Canadians adapted English areas from England.
Yeah, okay. But I was more wondering, you on a personal level, right? So you don't have a problem with it. Provinces being
Oh
called
no, I don't
states.
give a shit either way.
Okay, I was just wondering.
I have a problem with being called they.
Well,
But
of course,
no, I don't have
provinces
a
aren't going
problem.
to get called they. You know what? I
They,
say
them.
that, but I never thought a person would have been called they, ever. So, who knows?
Remember that? Remember that relationship I was forced in?
I remember that.
Kind of. And I still didn't get lucky. I'm still pissed about that. If you're watching this, fuck you for not fucking me.
Well, whatever. Anyway,
I hope you get off to my picture still.
rolling back to today. Now, we talk about how the convoy changed the Canadian world. It just did. And then we get a Conservative Party with new, fresh ideas, right? A new movement, so to speak. And
yes.
I think, personally, here's one thing I like. His name's Pierre Poilievre. He, leader of the Conservative Party. And
love him.
He's a great guy. But I think what sets him apart from every politician before him is the simple fact that you can sit down with Pierre Poilievre and have a 2-3 hour dialect where you are asking him questions and he's giving you straight answers for 2 hours, right? I mean, that is unprecedented. Any other prime minister, it would have had to have been, your questions are known, right? I know what your questions are, and even if I know your questions are, I'm not going to answer them. I'm just going to avoid them, right? And even if you look at American politics, it's a lot of the same. It's a lot of I know your questions, or I'm going to avoid them, right? Now, I would say doublespeak, which is the term used for how to speak around questions, and it's primarily a business language, but because I would say politics and business go hand in hand, it is also the language of politicians and other users. Anyway, what does that have to do with modern conservative, in my opinion? And I'll throw it back to you and get your opinion on this. I think we're seeing the number one freedom movement internalized into a party.
Personally, I do want to say that I wasn't against the convoy, but I said that there's going to be something that happens that's going to be bad. It's going to be good, which came out that it made what's his name? Fucking O'Toole. I'm just going to call him Toole. He made Toole leave. It made Toole leave, and then we also got Pierre, which is the good.
Yeah.
And now that we have Pierre, we're starting to stand up for ourselves as conservatives. Which actually, I got a funny story now about us and the conservative point. But I'll circle back to that, just like Saki. I knew that the act, and I told you I was going to talk about this, the Emergency Act was going to be played, which is what I was saying earlier. I knew something like that was going to happen. I knew that little fucking grimy asshole was going to do something to try to say no, checkmate, motherfucker. But then he ended up shooting himself in the foot. So it kind of proved me wrong in the sense that I thought it was going to be good and then bad. Because we are seeing now a definite change, and us as the next generation of conservatism, you more so than me, just based out of age. You're already ahead of where I was, because at your age, I was a complete anarchist. I didn't give a fuck. I wanted to watch the world burn for all I cared about. I just wanted to get drunk, high. I wanted to just watch the entire fucking atmosphere burn.
Yeah. That's fine.
Um, and then I finally got into conservatism, and I started to learn quick of what it actually meant, how to make a good life for my future, and um, that kind of brings it around to what uh, you and me were talking about, because you used to give me the I would have said something like sly, like, so this is happening in the news with the politics. What's your thoughts about that? You're like, mm, I don't really know. I don't want to talk about it. Mm, I'm just like, fuck. Okay, are you conservative or are you fucking liberal? Like, speak now or forever hold your peace, or pieces, whatever you
Well,
prefer.
in my defense, I was in a very tough spot in my life where I didn't even really know
Hmm.
what it meant to be a liberal, New Democratic Party, or conservative, a Bloc du
Hmm.
Québécois, and like I didn't understand any of that.
Yeah.
So it was tough for me to really engage in those type of conversations, and I think it just generally is because they're so polarizing, right?
Hmm.
And at that time, I was trying to be the boss. I was trying to be, as much as you think I was so like radical and like so against it, I was still trying to be professional.
No, I didn't think you were trying to like being radical about it. I thought you were doing what you're saying. Like, you were double speaking to be the professional one, to like
Hmm.
not talk about it. And I'm just like, finally, like, I want to know if I'm gonna, like, if anything I say is gonna offend you, because I love my job and I'm gonna shut the fuck up if you're a liberal. But if
No.
you're a conservative, we can both have a good heyday of bashing the Trudeau fucking mafia. So um
Hmm.
and like, even now, I still don't consider myself like a true conservative. I would say I'm more libertarian, which is still on the right,
Hmm.
but I'm a right wing.
Is
So we will agree on.
do you say that because of the extremist language that is talked about and used about the right? Like people use the word
No,
alt right, far right. Is it just because you're afraid of those words, or is it just more of an intrinsic belief?
no, it's just straight up like, I just want my own space. I want to be left alone. I want to own my own home without taxation. I want less government involvement. Um, yes, libertarian and conservative can bounce back and forth. Like, there's a lot of points that I agree with of conservatives, and like, I will vote conservative every single time, but
Hmm.
I still believe myself to be a libertarian, not liberal,
Yeah, I know.
not to be confused with liberals, because they're too different. Um, People at home might not know.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'll pull up
so
what a libertarian
not to be
means.
confused by the two. Uh, yeah, and no, I'm not afraid of being called outright. If anything, like, if someone's gonna call me an outright whatever, I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? But just so you know, um, my family is the one who helped, take away from fascism and the Nazi Party. Um, so whatever you say to me doesn't really affect me. And I could sit here and cry and say, "Oh, like, like, how dare you? My
Mhm.
family did this and that for this reason." It's no. You can call me whatever you want. I've
Mhm.
been called much worse by much better people. Like, and I'm not saying you, but
Yeah,
I
no, I
am
understand.
saying, like, to the blue-haired feminists who decide to come and attack me.
Well,
I'm not offended by
I'll
shit.
I'll play a little bit of bit of devil's advocate with you, and I'll pick at your point there. So are you saying that just because you have thicker skin is the reason why you're aligning with this, or is it more of because you have chosen this is the reason you have thicker skin?
It's because I've chosen this. It's 100% that I've chosen to be aligned with right-wing beliefs that I just don't like. I just don't care. Like I there's some points of the left where it's like the morality of things, or at least what they say they are like how much they care about something.
Mm-hmm.
Save the planet by all means, yes. Save the baby turtles or something, puppies, kittens, whatever, babies. Uh, by all means, yes. Like morally, we should save the human race.
I'd argue they don't
But
care about that,
well, not in practice.
which is the
But
only thing that matters.
right. So, but in their words, I'm sitting there like, yeah, okay, but so far you've shown me the complete fucking opposite.
Mhm.
So, and now I'm starting to see that actually in modern conservatism, we're like, you know what? This whole time we've been like just saying, oh, less taxes, less this, less that. No, we actually do actually give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
We do give a shit about the people. And so that just puts the whole me saying, oh, I do agree with the left a little bit, right out the window. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be center right, but if anything, I am more right in the middle
I
of the right.
I will hit you with, I'm not even center. I am right wing. There's nothing in my mind that I have seen, the stats that I've seen, the things that I've seen. Like, if you look at history, look at what the left has done through history, right? And you know what? You're gonna say, oh, you're gonna bring up Russia.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm gonna bring up France.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring up the French Revolution.
The very beginning. Have you been watching my videos?
Maybe.
You've been watching my videos.
Of course. But anyway, what did they say in the beginning of the French Revolution? What was the main thing they talked about going into it? Equality.
They wanted to change.
Equality, change the system, corruption, everything's corrupt, right? What happened as soon as they got into power and they had the ability to make those changes?
Napoleon became a dictator.
Before Napoleon, there was a congregation, a quote unquote government power, and their people were also starving. And they had nothing. They had no food. They had no ways of getting food. Like instant, the second it happened, right? And then what led to that? Higher government, Napoleon. And then we know what happened after that, right? So I would argue it was instantaneous that it went downhill, right? And
I don't know where to put this fucking camera.
nah, it looks good. Don't worry about it. So I would argue it instantly went down. And then Russia instantly went down, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least when you look at the radical left and the radical right only comes in when absolute insanity has happened. Absolute insanity, right? Like Nazi Germany only formed because they were so in debt that they wouldn't have paid it off in their grandchildren's lifetime. Like, if Germany doesn't have a debt to pay to the UK, France, all of these countries, the US, all of these countries,
NATO,
they just wouldn't have been a position for it, right? So I would argue that the left comes naturally to take power, whereas the extreme right only comes in when all hell breaks loose. So
the extreme left comes in when we have weak men who has seen nothing but power, and that's what we've seen throughout history. And I've always said that I I will not go left because in the very beginning, it was good on paper, bad on practice.
Well, okay. So let's.
Communism seems good on paper, shit in practice.
Well, okay. I actually want to talk
Our
socialism.
fucking socialized medicine.
Don't even get
Good
me
on
started.
paper.
Don't get me started on that. But anyway, socialism as a whole. So like what happens? Okay, so everyone gets paid equally. Everyone has a say in a company. That's the perfect. See, I would argue even communism doesn't work in a perfect scenario. Because if you're an Apple, okay, and you're the janitor of Apple, should you have say about what goes into the iPhone? Should you have equal say as Steve Jobs, basically is what I'm saying. The janitor. Obviously, we don't agree, right? But we don't agree with that. But you know what? Some people see that and they were like, yes, that works. And for that to work, it's
in a socialist society. In a socialist society, it would be equal, everybody equal. But
that's just not true.
In actual society,
I actually had a great thought about this the other night, and I was like, how would socialism work? Like, how would it work in the way that we all agree and no one's against it and everyone's for it? And I think the only way for it to work would be for if there was no such thing as a right wing, left wing, right? It would only work if we, as human beings, were born on the planet and there was no fighting. So if there was no animals and we were all vegetarian, we had no reason to fight for our lives, and then it would just be we'd have no instinct of fighting, right? We'd have no instinct of greed. We'd have no instinct of taking. So I think that's the only way. But unfortunately, we don't live in that world.
But then,
sorry, you were saying?
No, because then we would no longer be human. We would no longer be human at that point.
Yeah, we'd be different.
We'd be back to the caveman days, but instead of being apex predators, we would be something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously I'm giving you a completely hypothetical scenario where like we would just have to like want to progress for the sake of progressing. Like that would just have to be the only motivator.
That's progressive conservative aren't even real fucking conservatives, and I don't care who fucking knows it.
Like if you want to call in the mob, most likely they're liberal. Most likely they are liberal. So
which mob?
The mob. I'm talking about the big mob.
Like mafia.
Most of those people are going to say they are just for the people, and they're for equality, and they're for all this, and it's like they're just trying to grab power. I mean,
Nancy Pelosi.
If you want to argue, I mean, like during COVID, let's talk about this. Here's something crazy. So let's look at the people during COVID who supported COVID and who were against COVID. Okay. Now, COVID was naturally a thing that shut down small businesses. Didn't shut down large businesses, just small businesses and entrepreneurs. So let's think about this. If only big business and big money is staying in the game and only small businesses are staying out of the game, and Justin Trudeau and the Liberals supported lockdowns, Joe Biden supported lockdowns, who was against lockdowns? Conservatives in Canada and Donald Trump in America. So the right wing is actually the party of small business and of progress. Whereas the left, if you just look at that fact, if we're just looking at that fact entirely, nothing else, then the left is actually the party of big business and big money. But if we're just looking at that fact, I mean, there's other facts that you can bring
I
up.
think working, yeah, if while working with me, I think it's very, very apparent on how I stud is because I'd ask you questions like, "Hey, can I take my fucking mask off?" and then you'd be like, "Ah, wait until customers leave, and then we'll
Mhm.
take our masks off." Like we didn't give a fuck. We it got to a point where we both protested against it, and in different ways, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like I actually had to tell a lot of customers, look, I don't want to do this. I'm doing this because I don't want to lose my fucking job. I have a
Mm-hmm.
kid to support. So like if you think that I'm trying to be a sheep, I'm not. I'm very much different. But like I'm all for like there are businesses that I saw going down and I was just like, oh fuck, are you serious? I really liked this one restaurant that was up and now it's gone.
Well, what was it?
I don't remember because it's gone. But there is DJ. I think DJs is still up.
Oh,
I'm gonna check that because
yeah.
if DJs is up, I'm gonna shout that out. Do you know what I'm talking about? The pierogi place.
I don't know if I've ever been. I don't know if I ever went, but I've heard of it.
Oh,
Honestly.
okay. You should come down and we should go eat some DJs.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
So fucking good. You. Ironically enough, it's Ukrainian food.
Yes. Let's go.
Yeah, DJ's Pierogi Kitchen. It says they're still up. Fucking right. Go to DJ's Pierogi Kitchen. It's so good. Oh, first time I went there, what I always order from Ukrainian people, because my grandma was born in Ukraine,
Okay.
and my grandpa was born in Russia, so I'm on the fence on that one. But I always order pierogies, sausages, and some borscht,
Okay.
and like the soup. You got the soup, and then you got pierogies and sausage, and there's like onions all topped up. Oh, fucking bacon! Just you mow that down, you're full. You're good for like a good solid. Like that's lunch and dinner. But back into this notion, it's just like, yeah, I'm working with me. You could tell where I stood because I didn't. I thought it was like every day. At least the first fucking like hour or the last hour, I would sit there and cuss the fact that I have to wear a mask. In that the COVID, it wasn't really even that bad. I a little bit on the socialism side. I actually talked to someone who's close to me, who is a part of the medical system, and we both agreed that socialized medicine, yes, for their buck, like their wallet,
Mhm.
because they get paid via the hour. They don't get paid by the patient; they get paid by the hour.
Yeah.
That it's good for their pocket. But overall, for the fact of how many people they have to treat because they can't afford their own health care or their own medicine, is outrageously terrible.
Yeah.
And I was also getting into like taxes with, with said person. I don't want to bring that up too much, but like
No.
we were getting to taxes, and yes, mine is lower than this person's
Mm-hmm.
because healthcare comparative. But I said if we're both paying though, yes, you're paying more, but if we're both paying, then why do we have to pay again?
Yeah. I mean, that's just well, in BC, right? We're talking about free healthcare. Um, in BC, as of before 2019, you had to pay a payment for your healthcare.
Mhm.
It was like $200. So, pre 2019, you weren't even getting the best care, and you were paying for it, right? So
Mhm.
that's just, it blows me away, right? I mean, when I got that payment, when I got that bill in the mail for my medical care, my grandparents were blown away because they didn't have to pay it because they're elders, right?
Mhm.
And I was just like, what the fuck? $250 to pay for medical? I haven't gone to the doctors. And I just had to pay it, right?
Yep.
Or I lose my medical card, right? So I can't even go to the hospital, right? So, I mean,
Comes out of your. It should come out of your taxes, doesn't it? Not?
no,
Or did you just make a trip to the doctor one part of the
I might
year?
have. I might have just gone there. I think I had an ear infection,
Oh,
and the doctor
yeah.
just like blew the gunk out of my ear. But
Yeah.
$250 for that. I mean, you might say like, oh, well, in America it's way worse. Like, if I just go to the doctor, it's $1,000. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Try. You know what? Try having a broken leg and sitting in the ER for 4 hours. In where I live, you're gonna fucking get shocked. Where I live, they released the police staffing amounts to the public, and guess what? They're understaffed. They have
Mm-hmm.
like 2 cops, like
I'm not shocked
maximum.
at that at all.
But you know what they won't release? Let me tell you what they won't release. They won't release the amount of ambulances they have on the hospital and ambulance workers who will drive it. There's a 3-hour wait time on ambulances.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better.
That's a little less shocking, but
Well,
still shocking.
just
Still a little bit
the
shocking.
fact that they'll release police staffing, but they won't release that. The only reason why I know it is because my mom's a nurse. It's not because I read about it.
No.
Right? So if you have
Okay, so this is so the person I was talking about was one of my siblings. Go ahead.
Yeah. Wait, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like if you have a broken leg, it is better for you to crawl to the hospital than wait for a fucking ambulance, right? You have a better chance of survival, right?
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, sure, it would free healthcare, but like, goddamn, like you can't fucking don't slip and fall.
It's not fair.
Like
I actually found this out that with a good healthcare plan, which by the way, if you're in America, pay the premium, pay the motherfucking premium
if you can.
Like, well, her diabetic medication was $200 a month.
Oh, really? A month?
And she just didn't get it. Yeah, because we couldn't afford it.
Yeah,
we didn't have very good medical plan, and that's with our medical plan.
Yeah,
and I highly recommend people get a good medical plan.
mm-hmm.
I did to fucking shit with this socialized medicine. Like, this is what conservatives are talking about for a while, that we just blindly didn't fucking see, and that's what I'm pushing for. Stop fucking going into socialized medicine. Our medical is not fucking free. Stop lying, you fucks. It's not free.
It kind of is.
We are not free people with medical.
It kind of is, but it isn't.
Comes out of our taxes, and sometimes they get billed, and then it gets billed to us. Like, we get to pay later. That doesn't make it free. That means it's like, yes, I'll be a big portion.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you that, a big portion with the right coverage, with the socialized medical
Mm-hmm.
shit on top. Yeah, it gets cheaper sometimes, but without the medical plan, what diabetic's gonna fucking pay $200 a month for insulin?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a tough thing, right? I mean, what are you really gonna do there?
when we had the forest fires, I couldn't afford my inhalers that costed $38 at the time because I was shelling out for it. Like, of course, like now I would be able to afford it
Mhm.
because I've gotten rid of the hungry hippo that was living on the couch. But I'm gonna call it how it is. But still, like I can afford it now to take an inhaler with me when there's a forest fire. There hasn't been a forest fire anymore, but I was dying out there.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was coming to work like going,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, "Are you gonna drop dead?"
I thought you were gonna die. I was like, should I stick around for a little bit longer? Because like, ugh.
Fucking trooper, let me tell you. But yeah, I think that once the elections come in and we start actually realizing that NDP isn't actually for a union of people and liberals actually don't give a fuck about us, I think we realize that conservative is the way to go. PPC,
I'm not voting for the People's
eh,
Party. There's absolutely 0% chance I do that. Right? I mean,
no, useless.
this election is going to be so important, so monumentally important. I mean, if you aren't involved in politics and it's a coin flip for you, right? I mean, I just have to hope that you like the letter C more than you like the letter L. Okay? Like, I'm praying to God here. Because
Do you like to lose or do you like cocks?
basically oh
Do you like
fuck. Like
cunt?
but
Um,
to state that this coming election is important is an understatement for Canada. I mean, I I I
oh, it's
I,
very
I,
important.
I would be nervous if the Liberals won. Like of things to come. Because I don't want to be this guy and I hate being this guy, but I mean when you have that level of corruption and it sticks around for that long, then soon your fundamentals will start to go away when the nuanced things start to leave. So soon, I mean, it would happen. Like it's
The top of the lobe just doesn't seem to work anymore.
like
Your
oh sorry, what?
your front your front lobe doesn't seem to fucking work anymore because you're too brain dead to fucking like if you can't see it, like, come on, man.
What? I thought you were calling me dumb. It's like
No, I'm not calling you dumb. I'm not calling you dumb at all. I'm saying that I'm agreeing with you. Is that
no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just laughing. I'm laughing.
all right?
Uh,
No, I'm. Is it Ottawa overall? Ottawa
what do you mean?
for elections. We need Ottawa to vote blue.
Yes, we need Ottawa to vote blue. We could
Yeah,
also have
so
Quebec vote blue as well. That would work.
yeah.
That would be a trickier task. Although you never know.
He doesn't speak French anymore.
I think it depends on because we don't get to see the way news works in Canada. We unless we search for it, we do not get to see the citywide Ontario news and what's going on politically, like geopolitically in their world. We're just kind of segregated because we are in the West. Which, by the way, criminal, but it's just the way it is right now. So I would like to say that they are on our side, but the only thing that we get shown from Ontario is that they just hate conservatives, you know, and that they hate the truckers, they hate all this stuff, and they're very big city, right?
Who do they hate more? Conservatives or the fact that they gotta pay fucking $8 for a bag of milk? They got bagged milk, man.
Well, they see the thing is they blame it on the global inflation, right?
Mhm.
But the problem is if you blame it on global inflation, here's the problem: you're throwing it on someone else. You're not taking accountability, right? If you just say, "Oh, well, inflation is a global issue," well, fuck it. I don't live everywhere. I live here, right?
Mhm.
And it's not like everywhere is that bad.
No.
Like, so I'll pull this up. If we look at world inflation rates from 1981 to 2022, okay? Overall, right now, the world, so East Asia and Pacific is the lowest inflation at 2.41%, Euro area 2.45%, European Union 2.55%, OECD members 2.82%, and then the general world average is 3.42. Here's where we get to the bangers. So, and then we got North America at 4.05%. Then we got Latin America and the Caribbean, 4.26. And then we get to the two top ones, which are very interesting. We have Sub-Saharan Africa at 5.33, and we have South Asia at 5.55%. Josh, what would you say are some of the most corrupt governments in the world?
China.
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 The People's Party of China, right?
China.
Right? And would you not say African governments are kind of pretty sleazy? I don't know too much about them. Don't get me wrong. if I'm
Chinese
wrong,
governments?
I'm wrong. African.
Oh, African governments?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they I would say that they're I think they're trying to crack down now, but they were pretty much like, yeah, you guys do whatever you want, I guess. I never heard anything other than like the tribes over there, how barbaric it is. So I assume that it's pretty lenient and pretty much
Yeah.
like
So
not to be racist.
yeah, I mean, if we look at South Asia, total tax rates, I have it up the screen. You'll see it. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just pouting because like I've been called a racist before, and it's just like no, I'm the furthest thing from, and yet fucking people in Africa are selling other Africans.
Yeah, and I mean, it just gets worse. Like, it goes down, but as you can look at from 2015 to 2019, it went from 38.69 to 40.31, then to 43.21. So this is just your total taxes. So this is just an average of all of your taxes that you're paying in South Asia, right? It's just going up. And I can't even imagine what it's at now. Because after 2020, they probably became more privatized and they didn't want to share their tax information. So let bygones be bygones. So we only have 2019, but still 43.89%. That's of a middle class worker.
Yep.
Almost half of your income is taxed.
Yep.
And they're the highest inflation in the world.
Communist kids.
It just kind of is what it is. I mean, like, taxes don't help the citizens. Taxes only help your government.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is that I'm still making the same joke as I made before. All this government money coming out of my taxes, my roads are still fucked up. Still waiting for my.
Well, that's your municipal government, Josh. That's not your federal government. Your federal government has nothing to do with that. Don't get mad at them. Get mad at them. Get mad at someone else.
I don't give a fuck what part of the government. Just fix my goddamn roads.
That's your municipal government.
I don't care. Just fix the fucking roads. How about
It's like,
that?
you know, I was talking with my grandma, and you know, I was like, because I was like, Pierre needs to get this oil pipeline moving. You know, like he needs to step in and say something to these people. And she was like, well, you don't want your federal government leader, you know, promoting and like forcing these builds to happen. And I was like, well, our federal government right now just bans them. I mean, he just stops them from happening. So, I mean, which do you prefer? Right?
Yeah, man, I feel bad for the oil workers. Like my brother's an oil worker.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about this. How we,
Yeah.
like he'd come down for the rigs, and like I feel so bad for him, because if it's not fucking Trudeau trying to stop him, it's the natives.
Well,
Which, like, don't get me wrong, natives
Mm.
have more of a reason because you know they have their own sacred lands, whatever.
Mhm.
Like they have reasons.
I
You
didn't
know,
never have points.
I don't want to fuck up every piece of land. I don't want to fuck up every piece of land either.
No.
Like I get what they're saying. We should have more forests. But at the same time, these people who are just trying to make a living, doing oil refinery or whatever the fuck they're doing, fracking or whatever,
Mhm.
they have to deal with two different sets of people.
Yeah, right. They're in a tough position, but I mean, at the end of the day, right? If you oppose a pipeline, then you're okay with trucking oil and trucking gas, right? You can't. Gas just doesn't teleport. Oil just doesn't
No.
teleport. So you need to move it. So it's like, which would you prefer?
And so
Sorry.
and Middle Eastern oil and Middle Eastern gas costs way too goddamn much. Did you just turn my volume down?
No.
Oh,
What? What's going on?
good. It just looked like you were trying to turn it down.
No. I just got a
Let me
phone
shout
call,
out.
so I had to.
Yell at people.
I'm not.
That's why I turned it off.
My bad. I mean, usually no one calls me, but my mom, she just got home from
Mommy.
Vancouver, so she's just making sure I know she's alive. There's her text.
Okay, which mom? Which
Real
mom are
mom.
you talking about?
Real mom.
Okay.
My stepmom doesn't talk to me anymore. She didn't even say happy birthday on my birthday. Right? They think I am.
Isn't she my age?
I think she's 29.
Yeah. Okay. So, because I remember we were talking about this,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, yeah, my dad just saying that she's either my age or your age, and I was just like, alrighty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love my stepmom.
Your stepmom's how?
She's actually a really nice person, and I have a lot of really good memories with her when I was younger. But I don't know. Sort of life moves on, I guess. You just kind of
Is that why we're friends?
baby.
She's not even your stepmom. She's like your friend.
Hey, you know what? She's a pretty fucking good friend. Let me tell you.
She's
Right?
a friend who's banging your dad.
Listen, man. If you pulled that off, okay? Good job. I will give you a
You know
high
what?
five. But
I think that's why I respected your dad.
looks, he had a
Pulled that
hot
off.
wife.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that's what he was going for. I don't know. That's what he's going for.
That's the only. I don't know if he's gonna see this, but that's the only.
Mm,
That's like I mean, like, as a businessman, like, yeah, he did really well, and like he has a hot life, but there's some things that I would change. Not getting too far into our personal life, though.
That's fun. Whatever.
I just really wanted to say that your stepmom's hot
Oh, well, thanks.
and make that joke.
Thanks, Josh.
I-
I'm glad you
I don't.
goggle.
Everybody goggle.
I mean, fuck off. You know, every time I had friends over at the end of the party, they'd be like, "Damn."
It wasn't just me.
They'd be like, "Man, your mom's hot." And I'm like, "Thanks, I guess." Like, you know what? Fucking no. I mean,
That's cool.
you haven't. Okay, like, I think there's something when you're growing up with someone like who's like that, right? But it's like every day, you know. So like, I wake up, I see her, right? She's fucking, you know, tired, right? She's just, you know, maybe she was just crying about something. So it's hard, you know, for me to be like,
You see a different side than
Yeah.
what everybody else
Mhm.
sees.
mm-hmm,
Like I said, it's kind of like having a friend more than it is than having like a stepmom.
mm-hmm.
Most of the people who are in my life like that into that weren't my parents. I'm just like, hey, it's either I like you and we're friends, and I guess I'll associate you that way,
Yeah.
or I just don't fucking like you. And yeah, that I get, and I don't get to bring that up very often. So
And she's fucking scary.
when
Like, you know what's funny about her?
dude, she's a blonde.
No, she's not actually. She's brunette. But
Oh,
no, she'll fucking take you out. Like, I've gone upstairs and be like, let's wrestle, and then gotten put into an armbar in the first second, right? And it's like, you tap, bitch. Like, that's what she'll say. And, you know, like, I break out, and then my dad's like, oh, give me a piece. You know? They wrestle, and she fucking takes him down, right? Like, it's nothing. She was like a champion in wrestling, and was like captain of the rugby team, right? Which you might be like, what? And then it's just like, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But
to be fair, the hair wasn't exactly what I was looking at. So
listen, Josh, shut the fuck up. Okay, honestly, right?
you know what? I you know what? If you were in my position where you saw that, and
Not
then you
even.
went home, and you saw the hungry hippo living on your couch.
Okay.
Fuck, I
maybe.
was I will 100% say that I was jealous of you, because you'd be like, yeah, look at the girl I'm dating now, and I'd be like, fuck you. I got.
Hey, she was a cheerleader.
Yeah.
She was... Man, we've gone so far.
Cool.
Hey.
The person I was with was diabetic. She ate herself down.
Oh fuck! I
Now,
got
kids.
my audio.
You gotta understand that sometimes you gotta lower your standards and up your average, but don't lower it too far. Otherwise, you'd be like me.
You know, so
Hey, I'm not single, but I'm single, but I'm not alone. So
you know what's funny? Like, I was with this girl, right?
and I'm
sorry.
go ahead.
No, it's
I
just,
said go ahead.
I think it's just like, I was with this girl and she could do everything, right? You know, like, fucking stand up, legs down, and then like bend down and be able to hold it. She had amazing core strength, and like standing, like, you know, do a pass split. Josh, you know what a pass split is? It's when the legs go farther than a split, right? So I mean, but anyway,
I'm like staring.
but
I'm
anyway,
staring down the barrel of the camera just to like just to make sure people know
but
this is what I had to hear.
but anyway,
We like each other.
after that,
We're like brothers.
right? Now I'm looking for something a little more. You know, I don't really care if you got all the goo gads and the gadgets and the fucking movements and shit. I'm okay if you're vanilla, but you're really interesting to talk to. Like I think that's where it comes down to at the end of the day, is if you really connect with someone on an emotional level, that's gonna last longer than fucking. Oh, Josh, should have seen him.
Mhm.
That's absolutely nuts. I mean, whew,
Did she even spread the cheeks a little bit just to show you
fuck.
the back half too?
Oh, she was dirty. I mean,
Oh.
I would be like, hold your fucking legs and don't move them, right? And then anyway,
Mm.
it was a good time.
Turn into Cloyster from Pokemon.
There was no round that wasn't, allowed. 10, sure. Keep in mind, I've never gone 10 rounds. Max rounds I've ever gone 4.
Oh, really?
Max.
I'm really proud of you. I've only gone one more than that,
Like,
but I'm
And-
old as fuck.
can you really call it a 4th round at that point? I mean, it was so late and we were so tired, and I just kept going. And eventually, I was like, I'm tired. I'm just gonna go to sleep. So I was literally fucking a sleeping person, like on the last one. So, and she consented to it.
I went 12 hours in order to get 5, so
12 hours,
it was
bro.
just
Mine were
yeah.
4. Mine was 4 rounds, like a minute apiece. It was like bop bop boom, bop bop boom, bop bop boom, and there was like bop boom, right? Like I mean, I was having a good time. I was having a really good time. I was having a really good time.
that was my first. That was my first too. It was just
Oh, really?
And I started to pick up
My first time lasted, I shit you not, like an hour. Like I was just like I built it up so much in my head. Like I'm not gonna finish quickly. I'm gonna push through. Like I was thinking about a wooden table throughout the entire sexual encounter, and like at the end of it, I was like raw. Like I was just tired, and I was like, "Can we just go to sleep?" Like I didn't even finish on my first time.
You finished?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I didn't either. But I was also outside of a church, so
God, where was my first time even? Is that sad? Is that sad that I don't remember?
no. It's sad that I remember mine.
I remember my
How old I
first
was.
kiss. I remember my first kiss more than I remember my first sex.
I remember the. I actually still talk to my first kiss's mom, just to see how she is.
Oh,
She
that's
doesn't talk to me, probably because
okay.
I'm very conservative, and she lives in Vancouver. But me and her mom get along great.
Mhm. Yeah.
Not like that, but I mean,
maybe like that.
maybe. I mean, it'd be like getting an older model, but the older model is like a vintage, like a nice polished vintage.
Yeah, yes, sir. Put some new gas in it. Run just like in the old day.
Mm-hmm. Some premium petrol.
Premium.
Wow. Okay, so we're getting off topic.
We
and,
really went off topic there. That was.
We're almost like 2 hours in,
I know.
and I don't really care. I'm so willing to do this. I'm so willing
Yeah.
to keep going.
I'm only gonna go.
Okay, so Kanye West in his interviews. I don't really know much about this. I agreed to it because I think everybody. Okay, so I watched a few, Did you want to talk more about the modern day conservatism,
it's
or
like-
like did we like?
I mean, we kind of
Did you
jumped over
did you really
it, but it's fine.
did you feel like it was like it sufficed like where it's going? I think it's going in the right direction that it'll actually prevail over the second Trudeau's regime.
I think it will, and I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be really solid, if for lack of better
Mhm.
words. Yeah. I mean, other than like the semantics of it, I feel like we touched on enough of it. Like,
I think I think I think with us as the new generation, like me as a I guess I guess I would be called like an online millennial, whereas like someone like Ben Shapiro would be like offline millennial. So me being the online millennial and you're Gen Z, right?
yes.
So like just out of those two generations, I think that as long as we're helping our generations grow into stop being whiny pieces of shit, I think we're down packed for a good a better life of
A better future.
government, a better future for our government is
Mhm.
where I was trying to go. And
I agree.
I went over
No, it's
one
fine.
wrong word and it fucked up the entire sentence.
Well,
Um,
the main thing about like Kanye West stuff, and I really wanted to talk about, just kind of led us to this sort of modern liberalism, no, modern conservatism. Sorry.
oh yeah, because everybody's saying that he's saying anti-Semitic things.
Yes. So what he did was, and the thing is, if you have a person who's in the industry, they're gonna
Mhm.
know more about the industry than you, right?
Mhm.
It's just the working in the ins and outs, right? Like for instance, no one else knows how a Supplement King runs, operates, does all of its just day-to-day chores, right? Than me.
Mhm.
Other than someone else who obviously owns and operates Supplement King. Right? Is that fair to say? But
Well, I mean, like in the modern day, because we both don't work there,
mhm.
and
Well,
and to put a fair
I
put a fair point, you were a full blown manager. I was a manager in training
mhm.
just after you, and the only people who I would say would know more about it would be someone who is currently working there, someone like
Yeah, okay. Like
I'll real please.
I was mostly just talking about like the connections, right? Um
Mhm.
like if you're working there, you can just call the CEO of Supplement King, and he might
Mhm.
answer your phone call, right?
Yep.
So anyway, so Kanye West, we have to look at his statements as he's in the business, he sees these things, right? And he's just the only person that's really talking about them. And his anti-Semitic comments were because all of his media rapport and all of the
Mhm.
people surrounding him were Jewish. So all the people that were controlling Kanye West's life were Jewish. So naturally, Kanye West is going to have a skewed image of this, right? Just
Mhm.
from his perspective. But I mean, can we really deny his perspective? He sees the media business. He sees the people, right? So I wouldn't call it anti-Semitic. I would just say it is how it is, right?
Because I haven't seen enough of the
Yeah,
interviews.
I'd
I
argue
haven't
to it.
watched like the full thing. So I think after this
Mhm.
I might.
Yeah.
But I did want to say that I don't understand what exactly it is that he said that was so wrong. Because everything that I've watched, because I've watched clips, I've
Mhm.
watched highlights of it, and every point that he made was just another point that somebody else made, said in a more Kanye West way, or Yee as he's fucking known as now.
This is
I
name.
think the dumbest thing that he has ever done is change his name to Yee. Other than that, I do think that he's a very highly intelligent person, and I think what he's saying is not too far fetched. Do I know what all he said? No, but what I see, what I'm gonna narrow this down so that way if it gets brought up again, then people can not use this against me,
Mhm.
because I'm going to make sure I'm very clear by saying this. What I've seen of the videos is okay. Nothing he said was wrong.
Mhm.
Do I know all of what he said? Do I know all of what he said? Absolutely not. But from what I've seen, he didn't say anything wrong at all. He said things that are maybe a very left-leaning person would think is wrong, but someone who's right-leaning would think is more accurate. And so far, I've not seen someone who, like Ben Shapiro, I'm gonna keep bringing him up because I want to kiss the fucking ground he walks on,
Mhm.
who is a Jew, say, I don't see what he said to be wrong.
Yeah.
You're all blowing this out of proportion.
Well, it's because he's not going towards the agenda, right? And I mean,
Oh, so he didn't say anything wrong.
well, sorry if that went through. Let me guess, it
It's
did.
that vape.
I coughed
Hmm?
once. No, I
Oh.
hopefully that cough didn't go through. But
Oh, it kind of did. It was just like a very light, like it sounded like you threw the microphone
okay, I tried
across
to.
the room.
But
Yeah.
I think it's just it's just so tough, right? When you're playing so let's say, what did he do? He put out a shirt line called White Lives Matter. And
Yep.
they got
Nothing
upset
wrong
about
with
it.
that.
They got mad at it. They're like, you
Oh.
are degrading the Black Lives Matter movement by saying this.
But he's black.
So, I know. But that doesn't matter, right? The fact that he put this on a t-shirt made them upset. Why? Because it's not what they want. They don't want togetherness. They want segregation. So
Mm-hmm.
if you point out, hey, so turns out all of my media operatives, all of the higher up media, all of the government media, sorry, not government media, this is more America. All of the media is controlled by Jewish people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't calling, here's the thing, he wasn't calling for them to get killed. He wasn't calling for them to get maimed. Nothing. He was just calling for their jobs. He was like, these people cannot be running our world, right? Which you might say is bad, but I mean,
No.
I don't, right? I think it's bad if he said those people should die. That's anti-Semitism. That is literally the definition.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
There's been countless people who probably have talked about me because I'm what is known as like an honest salesman.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm at work, I'll be like, yeah, no, don't use this product and shit. And so there's probably a few people who think that I should get fired. Because I do come across as very, I would almost say flamboyant, in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and it could come across as flirty
Definitely
if
could.
your heads up your own, if your heads up your own ass.
Mm-hmm.
It could definitely come across as flirty. So, and I know this because I've had a few. When I was let go, I had a few. I heard about a few complaints that apparently people were saying that I was being too flirtatious or whatever, and I was just like, no, no, I was very, very kind, but
Mhm.
sorry you've thought about it that way.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know why. So I can understand when people are misconstruing what someone says. Um, but if a Jewish guy says what he said was not terrible,
Hmm.
then like there are gonna be people who say you should get fired. Just deal with the fucking issue, not make up an excuse. This is I hate it when people. I actually had someone do this to me, and I will tell you after, um, where they use their skin color against me, and then I literally just looked at them and I was just like, so is it because I'm white that you got to use this or use that tactic, um, or is it because I'm conservative, or because I'm a male?
It's one of the three.
I'm not Christian. So you can't use that one. I'm a
True.
straight Canadian or straight white conservative male.
Hmm. Yeah,
If I had Christian, public enemy number one.
literally. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, the whole situation's kind of, I think, blown out of proportion. I mean, he got banned from Twitter
But
because of it.
uh, so what it boils, probably did Elon Musk actually ban him?
No, he was banned before that.
Oh, we're back. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He
was
probably
banned
got it
before that.
back.
Probably.
You know what? I got Twitter. I actually got Twitter.
Oh yeah, Twitter's awesome.
Like now that Elon Musk has it, like it's great. I'm following Donald Trump. It's the first person I followed. You know what? I'm gonna actually look him up. Is it under Kanye West?
Well, maybe I don't know.
Kim. What the fuck?
I just wanted to like transition because I know you wanted to talk about the testosterone boosters and
Yeah.
estrogen boosters and steroid use. So
Oh,
was
we're
there-
jumping way ahead.
yeah, I thought we'd touch on one more thing other than just like politics. Is kind of our last something more fitness related, something a bit more lighthearted, maybe less demonizing.
Yeah, I can't find Kanye on Twitter anymore. So
He might still be banned. I don't know. I think it's like a shared partnership. I think Elon has to like pay his way in, so we'll see.
I also don't know how to work Twitter. So
It's kind of confusing, but I mean, you get used to it real quick.
but we should exchange Twitter after,
We will.
and then we'll at Elon. Thanks,
Yeah.
Elon.
Thanks, Elon. You're a great guy. Let that sink in. So, as far as like boosters go, I mean, at the end of the day, the best thing to do if you wanted to like increase testosterone, increase estrogen, increase any of those, then diet. Diet is the number one way you can go about it, and exercise, obviously.
I think you've heard me say this
Mhm.
over at when we were working together. That's pretty much like a lot of what I said. Is just like, yeah, you could go for that, but what I would recommend is just stay away from certain types of food. Increase in certain foods that actually do increase, like bananas.
Mhm.
They increase your testosterone. I found this out, and I'm like,
Yep.
wow, the flaccid shaped fucking fruit increases your testosterone.
So does something that would be more akin to like lifting and something. You might want to take well, don't take, sorry. Eat salmon.
Mhm.
Have fish, have super oily fish because
Mhm.
and that's going to help you increase your testosterone, but I mean, it's also going to help with your fatty omega acids, your omega 3s, your omega 6s, and that's going to help your brain health. It's going to help your activity levels. You have your vitamin C's, vitamin D's, vitamin E's, vitamin K's, and those are also just going to help you naturally live and just be a more vibrant person. Something going into the winter season, vitamin E. Take vitamin
Mhm.
E. Everyone says vitamin D is the thing you should be taking, which is true. Take vitamin D, it's really good.
Yep.
But vitamin E is the single lowest rate supplement that you get in your diet.
Yep.
So, and what does vitamin E do? Vitamin E helps you break down and really metabolize and get your energy levels going. Your body
Mhm.
naturally produces it and it naturally does it, but not to a high amount. It's not
No.
like vitamin C, right? So, well, it doesn't produce vitamin E. Sorry, I'm thinking of something else, but you just don't get it that often, and it's something that will really help you.
Oh yeah. It's
Mhm.
you should probably like the best thing that I usually tell people is to just buy like a multi and get some fish oils. Just eat properly. Uh, and like when I say eat properly, I don't mean a fucking vegan diet.
No, well, it could
No.
work, but
It. Mm, mm-mm.
like, okay, let's think of a vegan diet right now. So
Mhm.
you could in the morning have
Mhm.
beans and toast in your morning, beans and bread. There's high protein. There's your carb source for the morning. And if you just have those
Mhm.
beans are going to be super high protein. They're going to help you. Then you go on to
The bread.
you have whole wheat bread.
It's made out of milk
You
or has
fucking
milk in
you
it.
fucking find a bread that doesn't. Okay, you fucking find a bread that doesn't. Right? I mean, like you make
You
it. I don't know.
buy vegan bread.
Okay, listen. Okay, if we were talking right now and I was making you a meal plan, that I would say figure that out. That's you. Right? Okay, I'm gonna give you your protein
Yeah.
sources. I'm gonna give you
Okay.
everything. Yeah. So anyway, you do that in the morning. You have a glass of water because you know you're basic, and then you go on to lunch. If you want to be like super awesome, then you have some tofu. Right? You have a tofu salad. It's awesome. You'll love it. If you are trying to lose weight, then
Mm.
you don't even have any dressing on that salad because dressing is the number one way that you get high sugars and high trans fats in you, which are bad. So you don't do that.
Depends on which.
It depends on which
Depends
one,
on which dressing,
of course. But I mean, what dressing is
because some
good
of
for
it
you?
has milk in it.
Yeah, okay. Go to your supplement king. Get a Walden Farm syrup or something, and use that.
And then go to GNC for your multivitamins.
Yeah, or go to GNC and pick up their whatever option.
I feel like such a backstabber wearing Supplement King, and I
Don't
work at
worry about it.
GNC.
Anyway, so dinner time. Dinner time is gonna be kind of tough. Potatoes. You'll have potatoes. You'll have broccoli because that's awesome.
Mm.
I'm making a diet for. I was making a diet for a vegetarian, wasn't I? And then just fucking have some like kale or something. Have like a kale salad or I don't know. But
Mm.
in general, because of your beans and your tofu and whatever you're gonna like, if you have a full can of beans and like half a thing of tofu, you're good for the day. You're gonna get your protein goal. If you have like a supplement as well, you're gonna get there. Nuts are gonna be great
But
for you. Oh, but it becomes
but
way easier if you're not vegan or vegetarian. Way easier.
It's easier. It's easier to be vegetarian than it is vegan.
Oh yeah, way easier.
But even then, being vegan, you're getting all your stuff from plants,
Yeah.
which you can't digest properly.
No.
You got to cut all your proteins in half.
But
Oh,
Josh.
and as males,
But Josh, your
What?
opinion matters less if you're a vegetarian than a vegan. I need you. You need your voice to be heard. You gotta be a vegan. I'm vegan. Okay, you gotta listen to me because I'm vegan.
I'm V now.
I'm
I'm a V
vegan,
now.
right?
I'm a carnivore.
So less rights. For
I would
you.
rather I'd rather be a carnivore. So at least I'll be able to wake up without wanting to die.
Yeah.
Have you seen Jordan Peterson's diet on the beef?
No.
Oh, he's doing fucking tremendous.
All right.
His daughter, who by the way, his daughter, I would
Okay. Stop.
smash.
Stop talking
instant.
about banging
Um,
everyone.
She put him on a diet that she's on. No, I will not. I will not stop talking about banging people. When I hit smash, it means smash. This is my show. But she put him on a all beef diet,
Mm-hmm.
so he can have steak, ground beef, anything he wants, as long as it's still beef, and water and a little bit of salt for flavor. And he's doing amazing.
So he's not allowed to have spices?
No.
Hmm.
Salt.
You still have a lot of variety though, which is kind of nice.
Mhm.
Like, you can spice
Oh,
up
yeah.
your day.
Oh, dude, you can make a tomahawk. Like I'm sure you're allowed sauces, but
Maybe.
you can have like a tomahawk steak with like a little bit of barbecue sauce and a little bit of salt,
Yeah, maybe it does.
just to cook into it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sign me the fuck up
Make me hungry.
to both food and Yeah.
Too bad we can't afford red meat right now. You know, in that abundance. But
dude, $15, and it was like, you gave me the shits. But it's still good. Fucking ground beef, regular ground beef. If I usually eat extra lean, no,
Mm.
no, couldn't afford.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's essentially how you should people should get their testosterone. As for estrogen, regulating it the reverse
Soy.
in a sense.
Soy. Soya.
So, oh yeah, soy sauce, flax. There's a whole bunch of different ways to boost your estrogen, and I'm very saddened. I'm not gonna get too emotional about this, but
No,
I'm
please
really
do.
sad for the men who get fed these products and their testosterone goes down lower, and then we don't actually have men. We have boys who don't know how to function with themselves, and so they think that taking steroids will make them feel better, and it's sad. Like, I'm not talking about bodybuilders. Bodybuilders are a whole fucking different breed.
They're kind of a
But,
different breed.
I got my levels checked, and I'm on the normal low scale,
Yeah.
and it's I just think of what could be the thing that contributed to it. Is it my age? Is it my what I'm eating, and it baffles me. And at the same time, I'm just like, I should have gone on a testosterone-based diet sooner.
Could be stress as well. Stress could be doing it. Stress is a
Well-
huge factor.
Yeah, dude, I lost 280 pounds.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I kicked her
Congratulations.
right
Holy
out of my
shit.
house.
Oh, I fuck
Yeah,
off.
I kicked her right out of my house.
I was like, I didn't think you were even that big before, but like, Jesus.
No, I got up to 250. I got up to 250 though. I'm at 230 right now. So
I'm hovering around. I actually weighed myself today for the first time in a while. I'm 197. I'm almost 200.
that's a good weight. That's
Yeah.
a good weight.
You know where it's all?
Just
It's all right there.
mass gainer.
Fuck right.
That mass gainer pie.
Let's go. And that would be tasty, not gonna lie. Like
Mhm.
like a chocolate chip mass gainer, and like you make it into like cookies or something. That'd be pretty tasty. Or like a cake. That'd be pretty good.
I didn't think of that.
Well, you have to be worried about when you bake proteins, because if they get too hot, then they'll break down, and you won't have the full protein source. So you have to find things that are like not super hot, but you can make cookies, like just cookie dough
Mhm.
with mass gainer in it, and that would probably taste really good.
Yeah, but cookies usually take like 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes, hot, boom, done. That would be really good. Be really tasty.
Mhm.
Does
Same with.
Sorry.
I was gonna say so does same with pancakes, but
Yeah.
now I'm
Does
curious.
Beth still do the cupcakes and the cakes still?
I don't know. I haven't seen Beth because you know what? Fuck it. She doesn't watch my shit either. So so she took me for lunch one day, confessed that she had a crush on me, and considered it a date.
Doesn't she have a boyfriend?
No, not at the time.
Okay.
Her and her boyfriend broke up. Yeah.
Ooh,
She decided to start flirting with me in chat after her
okay.
and her boyfriend broke up. So
You sly dog.
I
You sly dog, you.
didn't do it.
Why not?
That's what everybody says, and I'm just like, I'm not into it. Look, okay, some bikini bodybuilders, like hot damn, but like most of them I just can't because I cannot get over the fact that they're like fucking the size of like their waist is the size of my forearm.
I guess. I don't know.
Like
That's
if I was Brian Shaw, maybe like I'd be like, all right. But have you seen the size of his
They're
forearms?
fucking massive.
Fucking
They're massive.
I
I think
but
that's hot.
no. She's attractive. She's very attractive. I think she was a very attractive woman, but I just couldn't do that.
That's fair. That's fair. No, yeah, totally. I mean,
And every friend that I've told, and then I show them a picture, and they're like, "Why didn't you do it? You know, you could just like pump and chuck." And I'm like, "No, I'm not like that." Like it's like okay, okay. I will be on camera. Like yeah, I do say that I'd fuck a lot of women, but I would call them back. I'm not an asshole. Like I
Yeah.
would call them back and be like, hey, want to do it again, or at least coffee. Hello.
something.
But I wouldn't just like. Ugh.
That's fair.
What was it called? Fuck. What was it called? Fucking Chuck.
I don't know if there's really a thing to say to it. I think it's just, one night stand. It's maybe a way of saying it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not.
whatever. I
I'm
mean,
not into it.
nah. I mean, every girl that I get with always just goes absolutely fucking crazy. And then, like, literally will bang. And then they'll be laying beside me. They'll be like, hey, so, like, when are we getting married? And I'm like, I don't
Oh,
know.
so you're saying that they stay crazy?
But yeah, they stay crazy
okay.
throughout their whole thing. Or it's like they break in my house, or just general normal life stuff. I mean, I think that happens to everyone at least once. For me, it's just happened twice. Casual.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
want something like, I don't know. I used to want that, right? But the
Yeah.
thing is, when I wanted that, it didn't even happen. And now that I don't want it, it still doesn't happen. So it's just like, whatever. Like, I've just given up. It's whatever.
Just that's what I did. It's just like I even tried Facebook dating, and
No!
yeah, I went down that whole. I found one fucking. Okay, I found maybe two good girls. One of them I still talk to.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So, but this is out of like 10. I got match, and out of like 10, two of them still. One was just like, I'm looking for someone unvaccinated and conservative and this and that. I'm like, well, I got the shot, but I don't want to take the boosters.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, okay, that's fine. And then I'm like, oh, I got kids. And she's like, oh yeah, no, that's deal breaker. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought it'd be hot. I thought being a daddy would be hot. Maybe it's just getting called daddy. That's hot.
It's kind of hot, I guess. It's kind of like.
And then most of my ex's friends message me now, so they keep me company too. So that's cool.
Okay.
If you're watching this, I'm fucking all of your friends.
And you know what? We love you for it. We love you.
I'm the Florida man.
Yes, sir.
If ever there is a actually no, you know what? That coworker we were talking about earlier.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah. I think he was more of a Florida man than I was.
It's definitely not me. That's I'm not.
Actually,
I'm not in there.
the funniest thing is that it used to be me as him and him as me.
Like the roles were sort of reversed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, dude, no, I was way worse than him.
What?
I didn't give a fuck. Yeah, I didn't give a fuck.
Well, that's fair.
I was completely worse. Like, actually, I sat down and talked to him about it. Like, he's calmed down a bit, and I sat down and talked to him about it. And I'm like, it's really funny how the roles have reversed. I'm like, he's like, don't even compare. Don't even compare. You brought Florida man to a whole nother level. I'm like, well, I set the bar high, I guess.
Yeah, right? Unattainable, unreachable.
Right? I am the king. All right.
Well,
so, do you want to go? Do you want to go for one more, or save those for next time? Because it's.
Sorry.
I was just saying that. Do you want to save them for next time, or
Yeah, I think we should save him for next time, and then we can
Okay.
have definitely some topics to talk about for next time. I like that idea.
an excuse to fucking come back onto my show?
Hey, only if you'll invite me.
Dude, I'm asking you to be my co-host.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
I don't
Mhm.
want to find another person. It's fucked up. I don't like doing that.
I told you it would work. Did I? I
This
thought
this
it.
works.
I thought it.
I will say this live. I will say this live on camera
Mhm.
that that you thought of this. I'm pointing at you.
You're
You're my screen is right here.
Hey.
So you thought of this, and you were right. 100%
Mm-hmm.
right. And I think
Mhm.
that means that I should probably change some stuff around, make this work so that way we're both as party. If you're willing to say live on camera, I'll be waiting.
What? Live on camera? What? What am I saying?
What that you're joining my team?
I'll join the team. I was already in it
Yeah.
before. I fucking moved my
Fuck.
setup.
Fuck yeah! You're like fuck it.
I already moved
make
my
this-
setup. Like it's all over here now. And I got my fireplace. So I'll show you. My fireplace over here.
Oh,
My fire burnt out because
That's-
I wasn't able to,
kindle it.
but it's fine.
Is it warm at least? Is it warm?
I'm in the basement, so there's like no
It's a little
insulation.
cool.
It gets a little chilly. That's why I started the fire, and I probably will, like every time. So like, I'll start the fire before we start, and then that's why it's warm. My room's over there. There's no depth, but it's over there, and it's really warm in my room. But the problem is the connection in my room is really bad. So I had to bring everything out again. But yes, Captain, I am on the team.
Bro, I'm in my living room. Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll talk more afterwards about like how we're gonna go about this, and you make some changes so it's not just like my egotistical ass. And I want to make sure this is live on camera, and I don't edit these. I do not edit this at all. I might like cut chunks out and put it on there.
Yeah,
but I
kind of
just
like we were
wanna
talking about.
say
Yeah.
that this will be episode 1 of a new podcast.
Okay. Yeah, and we can always DM about it and talk about things,
Mhm.
figure some things out. Yep, I'm excited.
And I will say to the lovely viewers that actually it like all of the ideas that came up tonight were him, and this is why I wanted you in, is because that way I can shove some ideas out,
Mhm.
and then you can kind of bring it full circle, because
Mhm.
doing this on my own sucked.
Yeah.
It, like I punched out most of those videos were like you'll notice like episode 20, like say 13 and 14, I wear the same shirt because they were done in the same night.
Mm. Yeah, but it's always hard when you're doing it alone, right? You don't have someone else to bounce ideas off of and like share the load. Like for me personally, I have all the Streamlabs, all of the streaming gear because I tried Twitch streaming video games for like a month or two, and it just hit a point where I was just like, I don't feel like doing this, and I'm getting nowhere. Like I'm just gonna go find a job, and I did. So I think it's just if
By the way,
sorry,
we make no money doing this right now.
no, absolute
saying.
zero. I know. Don't worry. Like I Twitch streamed games, and at my max, I think I had five viewers, and three of those were my family. So I know. Don't worry.
We'll talk. We'll talk about.
Oh, you're dying. You're dying.
More,
No.
more. I was thinking. I was thinking 3070.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that.
I was kidding.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking something like that. I wasn't really. But we'll talk. We don't need to discuss that kind of shit. I don't know.
The first number is usually for the person who's bringing it up, so I think that's where you're just like, oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, that does actually sound fair.
Yeah, it's 70-30 for me? Question mark?
that would be yeah, that would mean 70 for you. I was trying to make a joke to make it sound like I'm bad with numbers.
I was just like, okay, I guess. I guess.
It'd probably be more. It would probably be more in line with like after tax 50-50.
Probably something like that. I agree.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking fix my Streamlabs. I gotta do all this stuff. Like, this mic right here, literally doesn't work. Literally doesn't
I
work.
can hear it.
That's not this mic. That's
is that
this. Like,
oh shit!
I was trying to get this to work, and it just wasn't working before the stream. Like, it was absolutely blowing me away. But you know what's gonna happen? As soon as we stop, I'm gonna
it's gonna work.
Try and use my microphone for a video game, and this is gonna be the only microphone that gets used. Like, it's gonna blow you away. I swear to God, it's gonna happen.
We should talk about video games next time as well.
Don't even get me started.
I want to talk about. I want to talk about horror
genre, like Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia. We're talking like FNAF. Fucking. My ex stole my FNAF hoodie.
I'm gonna let you know right now that Five Nights at Freddy's. I've never played it. I just hate it. Like, without having played it, I hate it.
That's fine.
I know it's. I'm sure once I play it, I'll enjoy it. But for right now, I just think it's like my little sister plays it. I'm just like, okay, fuck off. Like, you just play Rocket League. Just play Rocket League.
So we definitely need to have a conversation about this when we come back in.
It's over. It's done. You just like Five Nights at Freddy's. It's over.
No. On episode 2, I'm gonna try to convince you to at least like see it in a not a dislike, but like a okay, I can respect that.
Okay, try and convince me. I'll live with it.
Oh, right now?
No.
Right now?
Next one. Leave it on a cliffhanger for next time.
Dun dun dun.
Any parting words?
Don't drop the soap. Keep it out of your bum.